Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky. Whoa, my hair is all messed up. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I can't see the live chat. My goodness, give me 1 second. So I do see DGAS pulling back. I already sold my entire position. So not too worried on that. I just wanted to focus on locking in profits and re-entry in when I see it pointing a little bit more up. I saw a lot of consolidation happening, so I'm going to talk about why I sold. For those that didn't get my alert, I just locked in profits on DGAS. I cleared a little bit over $1,000 profit. My position size was a little bit under 19,000. And let me give this 1 minute, 1 second. Let's see. There you go. Why am I, oh my goodness, I thought I was sharing my screen. Here we go. So TNDM is also trying to show signs of an uptrend. It actually had a really red candle right now. It's trying to show signs of a recovery. I have my alert set up here. I'll have my alert set down here as well to see if we can get in for maybe a good entry. And if not, then not really worried too much about it. Overall right now, DGAS. So I'm going to talk about why I sold my position and where I did, right? So I locked in profits. If I'm not mistaken, it should say right here. For DGAS, I sold at an average of 18.94. I literally sold like, it says at 6:18:35, literally seconds before I posted it and announced it that I locked in profits. And the reason why is I saw a lot of consolidation happening right around the middle VWAP. So I saw it showing signs of an uptrend pattern. If you see when it was pushing up, it was trending between the middle and top, not even the middle and top VWAP, the EMA line and the top VWAP. Usually you see that when something is aggressively pushing up. And then I saw that it broke above $19, it pulled back, and it started bouncing off the middle VWAP, showing signs of potential like peak formation. The RSI was overextended, the MACD was overextended, and it just made sense like why maybe, it can pull back before it, continues to push up. I just didn't want to risk it. I was up over $1,000. It was a swing trade that I saw of value, and not only just that, but looking at /NG, look at this. This is why I find it so important to understand the correlation between futures and the ETFs and the correlating ETFs, right? So TNDM is pushing above 42.50, so I am watching it very closely, but nothing as of right now. So I was going to talk about, like, instead of the video that I made yesterday on YouTube, so honestly, I wanted to make a video that was a little bit more guided to beginner traders. So I made a video about like top 3 mistakes. I was making too many videos about stocks, and I was just like, I don't know if like people think I'm too opinionated on like what stocks I'm trading and stuff like that. But one thing that I noticed was, and I talked to one of our traders within, I don't want to say it's the main chat, it might be the ETF chat. Let me see. No, this one's a little bit too active. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. But it was at like 1 or 2 in the morning. And no, I don't think that. Yeah, we're not going to be able to find it. Oh, here we go. I think it was this. So, this was at 4:36 a.m. But yeah, this is the conversation that I was having with Melind. It was a little bit earlier. Oh, here we go. It was a little bit earlier, and it talked about It talked about the overall break below the certain support on /NG, and the reason that I'm so focused on that, the reason that I want to talk about it and make it super clear, is that it was because I saw this trading in between the middle and bottom VWAP, so showing signs of a downtrend pattern, that I found DGAS to be so attractive. It was because of that correlation, middle and bottom VWAP. So this thing was showing signs of a downtrend pattern, which gave me the idea that, okay, I set all my alerts when this thing was breaking supports, and as long as this thing continues to get rejected, do you see where my alert is? At 3.02, that's because that's above the SMA line, that's above the middle VWAP, showing signs that if it breaks above that, then /NG will probably be a little bullish, right? Do you see how it's consolidating right now, right around this middle VWAP? Do you see that? The middle VWAP, acting as a resistance, so it tried to show signs of recovery. So that makes sense on why DGAS, pulled back a little bit, right? Now we're at the middle VWAP here for DGAS. We're at the middle VWAP most likely for UGAS, but most importantly, we're at the middle VWAP right now for /NG. And what I want to see is which direction is this going to be going? Is this thing going to continue to get rejected by the middle VWAP and make lower lows? If so, I want to trade DGAS. If this thing starts to push up and start to show signs of a recovery, then I'm going to take a step back, and then it might be UGAS that might do well today. Do we all understand that correlation? I just want to make sure that we do. So as long as we all understand that correlation, I'm happy. So regardless if you're trading it or not, I just want to make sure that it's an understanding that we all have. Like, that you understand why I took the position, you understand why I locked in profits, because if we look at the exact time, so it was around 6:18, so it was around this area right here, that we started to see this consolidation. Around like 6 o'clock to maybe like 6:20, you see some consolidation. You no longer see this thing being rejected. So it's obviously being rejected by this EMA indicator, and then all of a sudden it starts to show signs of a potential reversal, which it did not do almost throughout its entire descent, right? Okay. So there we go, DGAS just broke below it. So again, just understanding that the /NG was showing signs of a descending pattern, and it wasn't until this specific price point right here. So there it goes. It's selling off a little bit more. But the thing that I don't like about when it's selling off, like right now, DGAS is having a nice little push up, and that's great and all. But it's also showing signs of it making like higher lows. Do you see that? So I want this thing to completely break its pattern. I want this thing to completely get rejected and DGAS for it to make higher highs before I even consider the idea of getting back in on DGAS. If DGAS continues to rally for the day, 100% I'm all for it. But as of right now, I just think like if I try to enter, do you see this pattern right here where it's making higher lows, lower highs? I apologize. So it's making lower highs. So every time that tries to push up, it doesn't go as high as it did before, and it's kind of just like, it's not really showing growth, it's just descending still, but at an angle. That makes sense, right? So that's one thing that I'm a little concerned about. That's why I'm still taking a step back. That's why I wasn't quick to jump the gun and take the position right away. But I just want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of why I locked in profits. And I could have been completely wrong. I could have locked in profits here, and then regardless of the consolidation, as soon as the market opens, and you'll see this time after time, right as the market opens, that thing shoots up, right? The thing shoots up. It could have broken up to $19.40. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to do differently, and I'm trying to do much more consistently, is every time that I have an understanding, because you could only judge, like, people get upset when they lose money, but they had no understanding of like what was going on. I'm not too focused or worried about that. I'm much more focused or worried about like if I'm aware of like, hey, like TNDM is way overbought, maybe I shouldn't take a position, or DGAS is, again, like in my eyes, way overbought, I probably shouldn't take a position, and I still do. That's the time that I could be upset with myself, because like what we're knowledgeable about, we can understand that, hey, this isn't probably the best deal, yet we're still going out of our way to take action when we knew that it wasn't the best, it wasn't in our favor, right? That's the thing that I want you guys to work on, if it's not too much to ask. Every time that you're aware of something that could either go right or wrong, for you to be aware of that and ask yourself, if you made a mistake or you ended up red on a trade, was it something that was avoidable? And if so, then that's definitely something that we could work on. So there we go. Looks like DGAS actually /NG did just get rejected. Looks like it's selling off right now. Broke above $19. Nice little push up. I'm going to give it a little bit more time for it to pull back a little bit. Again, it has a nice little push. I want to see if we get a nice little bounce. The SMA line is still pointing up. The EMA line is trying to point up, and so is that middle VWAP. It's having a nice, just look at the RSI a little bit more on the overextended side. Look at the MACD a little bit more on the overextended side. I think that it would be due for a pullback unless the momentum really starts to rally. Let's look at TNDM, how this is trading in between the middle and top VWAP. That's nice. And okay, so nothing crazy going on with this one right now. and it looks like it's really just consolidating. I would really stay away from it unless it really starts to show signs of an uptrend pattern. Yesterday, it did a really good job descending, so nothing that we really want to be a part of. So if today it starts to show signs of it breaking resistance levels, again, today's Friday, let's be very selective with what we choose to invest in. Not just a pop up, but we need to see signs of it making higher highs, pulling back, higher lows, and all that good stuff. Let's be extremely, extremely selective. Definition of FOMO. Ticker symbol now just went above $97. Wow, nice. Okay, and ticker symbol now, I mean, it has its resistance, if I'm not mistaken, at around $200. And I think, what was it? Ishmael. Ricky is buying brunch for the team with this. No, Ishmael, if I'm not mistaken, you were still in ticker symbol now. You were in at an average of like $91 or something like that. So I think it might be time to, whenever you're ready, anything from like $98 to $200, that's territory where I would consider locking in profits. However it is that you guys feel, but yeah. Oh, my stomach's grumbling. Still in Digaz, Muhammad, you're killing it. So congrats on that trade. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Nice little push up. Again, the middle VWAP, just in, or the MACD indicator, just in my eyes is a little bit on the overextended side. So I think it might be due for a pullback. Again, that's just me. Forget about what it is that I say. I could be completely wrong. But I really like how it got rejected by that middle VWAP. It hasn't even touched the SMA line, which is another resistance that it has to break above. So we have a lot of /NG has a lot of resistance that it has to break in effort to really start to reverse. And that's in our favor for those that are in DGAS. But again, don't let that be such a like barrier. Like, don't be so hesitant. Like, this is like what is the most upsetting. Like, when you're aware that, hey, your stock is overbought, like, there's no question. Like, DGAS is up over 5 to 6% on the day. Like, don't be afraid to lock in profits. If you have another day trade, you could always get back in. So just be aware of that. How many day trades do you have? And what's the opportunity cost? You're going to feel so much better regardless of what stock you're trading. If you're up and you see some form of resistance, you're going to feel so much better locking in profits and walking away rather than being greedy, hoping that it continues to go up, still not having an idea of where it's going to, peak out at, and then you're going to end up in the red. And that's one of the worst feelings. Like, wow, I just wish. Put yourself in that situation. How many times have you gone from green to red? I just wish I would have locked in profits. You could always get back in. Who cares if you miss out on 10 or 15 cents? Who cares, right? 10, 15 years down the road, that is going to be so irrelevant. Right now, you need to prove to yourself that you can grow your account. And that's focused on making sure that you can, make these decisions, these executive decisions of when to lock in profits and when to, continue to hold. TNDM just broke above $43. You guys and your t-shirt jokes. So I like TNDM as of right now. I like that it's really trying to validate above the middle VWAP. I still want to give it a little bit more time. I've been extremely standoffish with TNDM just because of how much it's sold off. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's just in my eyes. I want to be a little bit more selective, and that doesn't mean that you have to follow what it is. I'm a dingleberry, right? Forget about what it is that I see value in and all that stuff, right? But let's see. What time does a natural gas report come out? It's Friday. Natural gas report was yesterday. Here we go. Again, I'm just going to be a little bit more patient and see if this thing really starts to rally. I don't like the MACD. I don't like the RSI. I want to give it a little bit more time to see which way it's going to be going. It looks like it's still going to be getting rejected. I mean, it looks like the EMA line is still aggressively pointing down. It's showing signs of a bearish pattern. So I'm thinking about maybe taking a smaller position and then kind of writing it out and seeing how that goes. But again, I don't want to overdo it. So Morgan Becker, preach. What's going on, Morgan? Ooh. Yep, and trust me, like it sucks, right? But for you to say like never again, let's make sure. It's like you could say like, all right, always lock in profits, always lock in profits. That doesn't even necessarily work for me so much. What I ask myself is how I felt. How do you feel? Or how did you feel when you went from green to red? Did the extra $5 really matter that much? Did the extra 10 cents that you could have made really matter that much? You know, when that happened, you're just like, wow, that was so, like the extra profit is so minute when I was aware that I should have locked in profits. Put yourself back in that situation right when you're asking yourself, should you sell or not? And ask yourself, would I feel better to lock in profits and walk away green and not have a stress for the rest of the day and be completely stress free, or hold and hope that it continues to go up and then potentially be in the red? I think just putting yourself back in that emotional situation or that emotional state is what helps me the most. Realize that, oh, screw that. Like, it's an emotional roller coaster, because if you don't lock in profits and then it sells off and you have to hope that it just comes back up, worst feeling I think ever. So. I like that one. Okay, so we're kind of seeing a peak formation right now on DGAS. So let's check this out. Okay, yeah, do you see this consolidation that we're seeing around this support, right? Do you see this? So around 2.98, just this general area, don't be so focused on the exact price point, but around this general area from around $3 to about 2.98, you see a lot of consolidation, and it's building that support. So the more times it bounces there, that stronger the support becomes. That's something that we covered in the course, right? So let's be selective. Again, it has like this playing room this margin. So right now we're kind of just consolidating from $19 to lows of like 1860. So it's about 2%. That's a lot of playing room. But right now I think we might be peaking out. So it looks like the resistance at $19 is going to be kind of like good sell territory today, right? Gee willikers, my God. All right, here we go. Okay, so thank you again for the call out. This was from Alex. So Alex calling out BLDP. Let's look at the 1-day, 1-minute chart. Pretty low volume, so I personally probably wouldn't trade it. But on the 180-day analysis, it definitely makes sense. The MACD is really nice. The RSI is decent. The overall ascending uptrend pattern is really what I find the most attractive. And it's showing signs of a potential reversal. I just want to make sure that we don't just see consolidation, but that we actually see it making higher highs. So I'm going to set my alert for the break above 420, and then we could follow up with it and see if it is going to continue to rally and go back up. So I think DGAS just broke back above. I said G Willikers, yeah. Instead of saying like dang it, or I don't know. It's just more of a. Please go over how quickly you can get burned by playing both in a pair. Like Diaz has. Okay. I don't. Do you mean like being in both positions at the same time, like being in UGAS and DGAS? I personally have never done that. It's something that a lot of people always try to position to me, be like, okay, what if you take both positions and then you cut losses quickly on whichever one stop losses out and you hold the other one? Oh, there it goes. Sell off right now. I understand, and for the only thing that's too much. I'm so okay. So are you saying that you don't know how or understand how to set a stop loss? So one thing that you can do is, if you have your hotkey set up, you can just click Command Cell, right? You can click Edit here. And then what we can do is you click 100% of your position to sell. Obviously, I don't have a position right now. And then you can just go here and click on Limit Order or Stop Limit, right? Whatever it is. I like, or what is it? So Stop Limit. and then we just set the price on, where it is that you want to end up cutting losses. Another thing that you can do is the OCO brackets. I personally like doing that on my phone. I don't know if you guys have ever done an OCO bracket, like where you set your exit and your stop loss at the same time. I think it's super easy on the TOS app. So, if you were ever to set, it won't let me right now because I'm not in a position. But if I were to be in a position, you close position, and then it says with OCO bracket, and then you set your limit order and your stop loss. And then when one gets filled, the other one gets canceled. So it's one cancels the other. So that would be kind of like my approach, if that's something that you would see a value. Okay, so John is saying no, jumping from one to another. Yeah, definitely can be very risky. I think you're meaning like, okay, like DGAS is showing signs of a potential peak formation, so then you go into UGAS, but then if UGAS continues to descend, then especially if you took a loss on DGAS and then you go to UGAS hoping that it reverses and then you end up taking a loss there, I feel like that's when we get people to say like, oh my God, every position that I take ends up being in the red. What am I doing wrong? I think that the thing that would be, that you're doing wrong in a sense, would be that you're over trading. I think you should be a little bit more focused on the direction of, which one's moving up, and not be so quick to try to predict the reversal. That's been my biggest mistake. I think a lot of people's mistake nowadays as well is trying to predict reversals. And if that's part of your trading, like Don, if I'm not mistaken, I think I watched one of your videos that you talked about. Actually, I think it was the review that you had about the Learn Plan Profit course and stuff. And one thing that you talked about yourself is you have different levels that you learned, like when you're trading Forex and stuff like that. And that you say that you get in like when the storm is still going, so when it's still potentially descending. And I think with that being said, Don, like you take on that risk of entering a position as the storm is still going on, is how you phrased it, and hope that, yes, your risk is higher for it to continue to descend, but so is your margin of profit for recovery. I usually wait for more of an indication of a reversal, which means that I give away the opportunity to make a little bit more because of, it already showing signs of an uptrend, and maybe I already gave like 2 or 3% margin was already covered, and that's where Don would have made, already started making money. But again, it's whatever style that you like most. I mean, there's even people that can be either more conservative than myself or either more aggressive than Don. The biggest thing is just to test out what works for you. For myself, when I tried to predict reversals, it just didn't work out well, especially if you're just getting started. Ooh, TNDM just had a really nice push up. The end of the storm, but manage risk with a position size. Yeah. And it's all like just testing out what works for you. And that's why for those that are just getting started, I always encourage you to, test out different trading styles. And I told you from the very beginning of the course that like my trading style is just a concept and an idea which you can like branch off of. It's not something that I need everyone to be extremely conservative with. Some people just aren't wired that way, right? With that being said, we all need to be and understand that in the very beginning, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And with that being said, it would be a smart idea to maybe paper trade or really manage your risk with your position size, and make sure that you don't take enormous positions so you don't discourage yourself. So DGAS just had a really nice push up. So just hit highs of 1910. That's pretty much highs at 1911, almost highs of the day. I'm not saying lock in profits, but I would lock in profits. Yeah. DGAS just broke its resistance. So you're saying lock in profits, yeah. Okay, so there's a 20-minute delay on your TOS account. That's not an issue at all. You just have to call TD Ameritrade and they can assist you with that. So yeah, just feel free to call them and they can assist you with removing that 20-minute delay on your TOS. I think you might have to create a real account. You don't have to fund it. You just have to create it. And even at that, I've heard that you might not even have to create a TOS account for them to, you really just, I mean, you can tell them that you're part of our group. I don't know if they know us by name or anything like that, but regardless, if anything, if you really need our assistance, I'd be more than happy to write up an email for you guys using the info@techbudsolutions email to make sure that you guys get real-time quotes. So anything that I can do to better assist you or to make it easier, 100%, but just if you can go out of your way first and call them, that would be great. How about DGAS for a swing? Yes, you do what it is that you see value in, right? I still think it's a little bit, the biggest thing is like, Diaz is still super early in its stage of a reversal. Like look at the stock when it like fully reverses, right? It has so much margin to cover. And we're really like don't force your entry. And this is the thing that like I like to day trade something as it's first reversing, right? Like I like to day trade it like within this area right here. I don't care if it's like even the EMA line is pointing up. If it's still early in its reversal stage, like I'm going to be very patient, right? With my specific entry. And I'm going to day trade it for a couple of days until we get a full-on reversal. And that's kind of like my style, and that's what I like to do. If that's not something that meshes well with you, 100% all power to you. But yeah. Of course, Brian. Thank you again for tuning in to the live stream. So, hey man, I don't have the... I'm not too sure what you're talking about, Grim. If you can do me the biggest favor and direct message me and send me a screenshot of maybe the video or something that you're watching, I think that would be great. Holy crud. My gosh. Yay. All right. All right, let's see. My gosh. This thing's killing it today. I don't know if you guys have heard this Kanye song of the I Love It, but we're gonna have to make a remix of like you're such a freaking uptrend. I love it. Right? Focusing on whatever's actively trending up. It makes sense why we love that, right? I think you guys could all agree. If you want to lock in profits on TNDM, 100%, it makes sense on why you would. I would keep a little bit of a closer eye. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD. Once we get more of a, you lock in profits. If you want to sell out right here, 100%. I would look out for a little bit more of a peak formation with the RSI or the MACD, giving you more of an indication of a reversal. I just don't want you to give back any profits that you're not comfortable with. So as long as this thing continues to rally, we should see a continuous push up, and the RSI can continue to push up a little bit more than others. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable, just don't. You could always get back in, and forget about always getting back in. Like, it's Friday. Like, end the week on a green note, so you're super pumped and motivated for Monday. Just remind. Ooh, nice. Just remember, it's not going to matter 5 or 10 years down the road, the extra dollar, or $100 or $300 that you make. And if you really want to do this for the rest of your life, that's what's important. The characteristic and the quality of understanding when to walk away. So that's what I'd rather focus on than maximizing every dollar value. I'm a sick stock. I like a quick buck. Ooh, we're making a song. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh, if you guys come up with the whole lyrics for a remix for I Love It, we will 100% do a parody. There you go, a nice little push up. I love it, I love it. All right. You guys cracked me up. I'm not really understanding this question. I noticed that when you place your buy and sell tickets, you have the option of the switch between percentage and the... Oh, no, that's something that like is set up on my automatically, that's set up on my TOS. So if you're talking about like when I set this up and I click edit, and are you talking about this? Like this percentage thing? This is just the amount of shares that I'm selling. So my amount of shares as of right now, this is like 100% of my shares. Like if I wanted to sell it here, this would be for a loss, but then I would put 100%. I'm not too sure if that's what you're talking about. Ricky, the real MVP. Thank you. Let's see. So Adam, I'm trying to see where your message is at. Let's see. Okay, so he needs advanced features enabled to show. So I thought that was default. I thought that's something that we all, you might have to go through setup, application settings, and then change that through. No, you can enable your active trader, right? And just I felt like I didn't do anything that was like indifferent, right? But if anything, again, one of my biggest resources that I like to utilize is just calling TOS and making sure that we utilize that specific resource, as it's a great one, right? And it's free. Literally, they can help you out in like 5 minutes. You just have to call them. Oh, I'm sorry, Grim. Okay. I thought you were. I just didn't want to make that assumption. So, ooh, I did forget about that. So Tesla, because of the bad news, it looks like it sold off all during extended hours, and it's showing signs of a recovery today. It's trading between the middle and top VWAP. I actually test drove a Tesla yesterday. For those that follow my friends Caleb and Justin on Instagram, they posted we test drove the Tesla P100D. That thing's freaking fast. So huge sell-off. News about Elon Musk getting sued by the SEC due to fraud. So I'm guessing it has to do with his tweet. But we'll learn more about it later. But yeah, it's definitely showing signs of recovery. Might be something where it might offer a good day trade opportunity if you see value in it, right? So looking at it at the 1 day, 1 minute chart, it's definitely pushing up, showing signs of an uptrend. ever since the middle VWAP, how much has it recovered? Yeah, 1.5%. That's a lot for, holy crap. Oh my gosh. I thought it was still going to sell off. Just consolidating. Wow, that's so cool. So Anthony Wu, Eric Gutierrez, I've been a member of LPP for a week and I've ended every day so far. Where is it? In the green, at least 4% profit. Thanks a lot. That's all your hard work. So, and I really do appreciate, there's some people that like work very well with the structure that we have within Learn, Plan, Profit. And then there's some people that like, regardless that they purchase the course and are part of the group, still do not follow rules, right? And then they blame it, right, or either on me or they just end up giving up. And that's the biggest thing. Like, I really do appreciate you guys thanking me, but it's your discipline. It's your discipline and your best practices that are leading to your success. Because again, you're learning information from everywhere. But you to be able to, this is why I say that the course can be completed in 1 or 2 days, but it should be completed in 1 to 2 weeks. And the reason why is because you should be practicing everything that you're learning as you're going through the course. And that shows, that within the past, week that you probably have been following certain rules that maybe you weren't following before because you're, taking initiative to implement what you're learning. And I think that's what differentiates a winner versus someone that is reluctant to abide by certain rules, right? Or test something new. I still think that as you're first getting started paper trading, even when you're going through the course, practice everything that you learn. Forget about your own opinion and stuff like that and what you've been doing before, and just try to see with paper trading, with fake money, to see if you can mold your way to be a little bit more consistent by following certain rules. And if so, great. If not, then guess what? You don't have to take a position. There we go. Nice little push up. Like it. Here we go. There we go. Why is that one show there? Gutierrez, get away. Why did I do that? And again, we got a nice little bounce. So again, it pushed up, sold off, consolidated, bouncing off the EMA line. And that's why looking at the MAC and looking at the RSI, there we go. Oh, got filled. Ooh. Shoot. What's the time? There it goes. It looks like it's actually peeking out now. It's trying to bounce. We're above the EMA line under /NG. Free riding rules. What is that? There we go. Okay. My last amount of shares on TNDM are filled. So again, averaging up. Okay, are you talking about TNDM, Muhammad? I'm not on the 5-minute chart. It says 1 minute. What the heck? Yeah, or whatever. Oh no. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so for DGAS, because you're in DGAS, I'm guessing you feel comfortable that /NG will continue to descend. Okay. The only thing that I would take into consideration is that this is a price point or an area where it has consolidated before, right? And where there's been a previous resistance, which means that it might act as a support. So I don't think it. And look at the RSI and look at the MACD. It makes sense on why it can comfortably start to consolidate here. So that's the only thing that I would take into consideration. Maybe like locking in profits, and then if it continues to descend, getting back in. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable with doing. But yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Let's see. Oh man. Oh, that must have looked disgusting. I just yawned on camera. Here we go. Yep. Of course, of course. Tesla, or did you already go over it? I did already go over Tesla. I don't mind going over it again, but again, well, let's see how it is now. It must have hit a resistance, yeah. So it's trying to show signs of an uptrend. I would just set alerts to see if this thing continues to make higher highs. I have my overall alert at 280. So Elon Musk is getting sued, supposedly getting sued by the SEC for fraud. I don't know exactly what fraud. It might be the tweet that he set out for some form of, obviously that isn't the best. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet that, I'm sure you guys did, the tweet that he shared on Twitter, obviously, and how that led, for the potential buyout of Tesla at 420, right, share price to take it private, and the Tesla stock shot up and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's exactly why, but something to take into consideration. Also, ticker symbol now showing a lot of consolidation. So showing signs of a potential peak formation. I mean, it's not showing signs of a downtrend, but just really consolidating. So, maybe something that we might want to take into consideration to lock in profits soon, or at any sign of a reversal and stuff like that. So we got only 29 likes with 800 watching. Interesting. I see people don't really like me. There we go. What? The MACD looks good. RSI, nah, it's not the best. Yes, it's for the tweet. Read the news yesterday. Okay, that makes sense, right? Definitely not the. I actually was talking to the Tesla like co-pilot dude that comes with you when you test drive a car, and yeah, I think we could all admit that like certain things that like maybe Elon has done in his personal life or something like that with like the tweet. I'm sure it wasn't just something that he randomly did. It's maybe something that he talked to the executive boards with as well. But yeah, that was very risky. Still, I really like Elon and is definitely an inspiration. So I can tell, Muhammad. So I have to wonder if Ricky sees these messages in real time. So you guys should be able to see your messages pop up. I think there's like a 2 or 3 minute delay or something like that. So not 2 minute, maybe like 5 to 10 second delay. Let's see where this is at. Okay, a lot of consolidation right around 270. It's been kind of slowing down. It's been at 270 for about 2 to 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. It's been around this area. So MACD is kind of showing signs of a peak formation. Like, don't be afraid to lock in profits if the opportunity cost just simply isn't worth it anymore. JDST showing signs of a peak. Made sense, right? We talked about the resistance at 85 gets rejected, and in favor of JNUG. I saw that /GC did some form of recovery. It was actually descending last night, but then right as the market opened, if I'm not mistaken, it started showing signs of an uptrend. We've talked about this multiple times, and if this thing starts pushing up, then it makes sense on why, if it opens up higher, regardless of how low it went, if it opens up higher than where it closed at, then we'll see, a green day and stuff like that. So there we go, D-Gas, come on, whoop, whoop. All right. TNDM might be showing signs of a peak formation. Am I mistaken, or is 44 showing signs of a peak formation? Is there any time frame where we're seeing a resistance right now on TNDM? Yay. A very low volume for ticker symbol OSB. So, okay, I see why you're calling it out, though. We've done a breakdown on this one before. It's definitely on the more oversold side, so it's in that good deal territory. It's just not pointing up. It's not showing signs of a reversal. The MACD's there and the RSI's there, just its overall direction is not. So that's not something that we could fake nor, hope for. It's just something that we have to wait for. So with that simple indication, it would make sense on why to, wait for the reversal. I like the pattern. I don't like necessarily how low the volume is, but something that we can definitely follow up with. We'll be ready to sell this. What the heck? Get away. Is D-Gas double topping? No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's definitely showing signs of a resistance around this area. So the biggest factor I would say is, /NG, which is this thing going to start making lower lows, or are we going to see a reversal? So that's where we're seeing a lot of consolidation right now. Maybe we should just lock in profits and wait for the confirmation and then buy at the break, or just risk it. Gotta risk it to get the biscuit. Just kidding, I'm not really about that. So I am day trading today. That's a pretty hard support at 2.98. I agree. This thing is solid. Break, you punk. Break. Ooh. Break 2.98, come on. Oh no, there it goes. So look at the pop here, and then look at Diaz up here. So every time that it pops, obviously Diaz gets rejected, and every time that it gets pulled back, Diaz pops. I find it so interesting. It's something that I still can't get over. It's so cool, the correlation between the two. So what's wrong with biscuits? No, nothing wrong. Just let's see. TM, DM, making higher highs. MACD is in our favor now. Wow, that was a horrible exit. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Oh, hold up. That's sell-off. So it is showing signs of a peak formation. How's that MACD? That descending MACD is what's getting us. That descending MACD. So, wait, what? No, it's starting to show signs of a reversal. Yeah, that's I get asked that question sometimes of why I don't take the cars to a track. I mean, I don't go to car meets. I'm probably like the most boring like sports car owner. Like I don't know. I find it to be a waste of time. I don't like showing off the car. Like I didn't understand. Like I don't know if you guys ever heard of like Cars and Coffee or like going to car meets and stuff like that. Like I heard it's good for networking and stuff like that, but I don't feel like really people go for networking. It's more to like flaunt what they have. Oh my God, TM. Oh, I thought it just broke above. Holy moly. Man, okay. So again, we saw that peak, we saw that resistance right around that price point, and look at this huge sell-off. So the MACD is not reversing just yet. Let's check this out. This might be good for a good entry if it begins to reverse. This is the thing that frustrates me about TNDM. How is something that's like so consistent and stuff like that still so volatile? Like that's the most frustrating part. Like it's sketch, right? It's definitely attractive because it allows you to be able to like buy the dips and stuff like that. I would just rather focus on something that's a little bit more consistent. Here's /NG. So mine is lagging. Dude, he almost died on TNDM. I know. That was sketch. Right, showing signs of a potential recovery. Is this margin worth it? No, it's still getting rejected right now. Okay. For those that are saying that like my thing is delayed, I mean, I hope that you guys know that the live stream is like 5 to 10 seconds delayed. So it's not necessarily that my screen is delayed, it's just that the potential, there it goes. Just gotta push above, okay? Look at this volatility. How much did this just cover? 2%. This is ridiculous. That's pretty scary. So is this worth it? No, it's less than 1% for me, so I'm a little bit too late to the recovery. I have to step away. JDST still selling off. So it's JNEG that's pushing up today, so I'll put that up there. LABU, red on the day, getting rejected by that SMA indicator. So LABD should be at support. Yep. This is the descending pattern though, so definitely more of a day trade if that. So from support to top, it's 1.3%, not the best. There it goes, peak formation. Yeah, of course, thank you, man. What is it? OMC? My eyes are hurting. $180-day analysis, huge sell-off, overall descending pattern, getting rejected by this SMA indicator. Looking at the 1-day, 1-minute chart, we can see that it's still showing signs of an aggressive sell-off. So I would be, so this could offer maybe like a good dip buy opportunity where it tries to recover. It's just too risky for me. Like, it's a continuous downtrend pattern, right? It's sold off, and yes, for that opportunity for that dip buy, it definitely does make sense. It's still trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, meaning that it's making lower lows. So I wouldn't be quick to jump the gun. I would like to focus. I mean, it has a lot to recover before it hits the SMA line on the day. I would focus and ensure that it's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. And as of right now, I don't think we're getting that. So it is trying to push up. It's trying to show signs of recovery. Just don't be so quick to jump the gun. And also, I mean, understand that it's a descending pattern. So I would really not focus this to be a swing trade, just not in my eyes. But yeah, thank you again for the call out. I like that. So this makes much more sense watching you live than trying to do it on my own. I like that. I love having you guys in the live stream. I mean, it makes it much more entertaining. I'm literally looking at a screen all day and just a bunch of patterns. So I think it's both entertaining for both you and I, both parties. So TNDM is like my ex, unpredictable and tends to disappoint. I should have read that in my head before I read it out loud. But okay, I'm about it. Okay. That's so bad. My ex is a complete sweetheart. She really is. Yeah. There we go. TNDM with a nice little push up. Again, super nice recovery. Okay. Looks like I missed out on this dip buy potential. That would have been a nice little opportunity, but you wouldn't let me lose some. Let's just take into consideration that this is its resistance right now and that it's not really making higher highs. Let's just take that approach. Yes, it's in between the middle and top VWAP, but let's just take that approach. Like, this is a scary sell-off that it just had. So let's just be very considerate. Again, it's approaching more sell territories within the day. So let's just take that into consideration. It looks like we just reached that 1 hour mark for the live stream, guys. 1 hour and 15 seconds. But I think we did pretty well with what we were given. And I'll keep you guys up to date with, my positions and stuff like that. So NVDA, this will be the last breakdown. So NVDA showing signs of a huge push up. I think this is NVIDIA, right? Yeah. Definitely consistent, showing signs of an uptrend. Definitely very overextended now. I mean, it would have been nice to be a part of this push, but now it's super overextended. Looks like it's peaking out even on the day. Definitely still showing signs of an uptrend pattern, but just looking at previous patterns, we can make sense of like why that 280 price point, so the $2 that are left, I don't think that margin is worth it. So 280 normally tends to be a resistance based on previous patterns, something that we might want to take into consideration before hopping on it. So yeah, clear 3% today, Max, my dude. Super happy to hear that. So is your sister still trading? Is she just gonna do? Yeah, she's gonna. She's not actively trading right now. She just started school. It's her first year at the university that she's attending, and she's gonna be visiting me, I think, next week and stuff like that. So yeah, she's doing really well with school and stuff like that. And that's her primary focus. So when she has time, she comes over and I can help her out. But yeah, so thank you guys again for your time. And for everything it is that you guys do. Looks like Diaz is really consolidating at the support at 2.98. And I like that, Alex. Thank you. Really appreciate the kind words. So I'll keep you guys up to date with what it is that I do. If I end up locking in profits on DGAS or if I end up walking away for the day, I'll keep you guys up to date. So hope you guys all have an amazing Friday. Please be safe tonight. And hope you guys have like a blessed weekend. Please be safe, and we'll see you guys in our Sunday stock talk. So like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it